This is your latest WINOL radio news update with Olivia Martin. Today's headlines. Budget cuts threaten Hampshire jobs. The country could be in for 50 years of continuous cold weather. And how to protect yourself from hacking scandals like the TalkTalk leak. Now, they look after the most vulnerable in society, but now they are at risk. Budget cuts by Hampshire County Council mean that people caring for children and the elderly are among those who could lose their jobs. There is concern about what this might mean, not just for the young and the elderly, but for other services as well. Rodri Cannon has the story.
The approved cuts are set to affect a vast amount of council sectors, with as many as 454 jobs at risk. 163 adult social care jobs could be lost, as well as 58 in children's services, while culture, community and business workers are also in danger. Eastleigh's Conservative MP says all councils are facing similar problems.
So, all councils are having to do this, and sadly as a councillor, and I've been there, it's a difficult place to be. There could be an argument to raise council tax. It hasn't happened for a while. I don't envy the decisions that Hampshire County Council are having to make, but you have to front up and do it, and I think Roy Perry is doing the best job he can do in a difficult time.
Others aren't so forgiving. Unison, the representatives of many of the council workers, are very unhappy.
It's about time that the reserves are ploughed back in to providing decent, high-quality services for the residents and the service users that give them the quality of services that the residents deserve. It is the vulnerable that are going to be hit the most, and it's not just the elderly. We're talking about children here.
Rodri Cannon there speaking to Mims Davis MP and David Anderson of Hampshire Union. And now the UK could be in for 50 years of continuous cold weather, following research recently published by a Southampton scientist. A professor from the University of Southampton warns that a collapse of major sea current could trigger a 50-year ice age. Our reporters Sherelle Heslop and Montana Myers caught up with the professor.
Now, we can't predict such an event, although we know that in principle it's possible. I still think there is a chance of, say, a few percent, maybe 1, maybe 2, that this might happen in the coming century.
Stagecoach received a £2.5 million investment from Hampshire County Council. With this comes 18 new buses that now run on city centre routes. The buses have free Wi-Fi, CCTV, USB ports and greener engines. Our reporter Hannah Quinn spoke to the managing director of Stagecoach South, Michael Watson.
Local people can see that we're investing in a local brand, something special for Winchester. I think it's the investment, it's the work that we'll do to talk to other businesses in the town, and gradually it's that gradual sort of getting the word out that we've put more service on, we've reduced the fares in the evening, and we've made the investments.
Winchester City Council has approved a scheme to build 52 flats in Winchester for elderly people. According to census data, the number of people aged 85 and over in the city has risen by 25%. Our reporter Rahana Uzarali spoke to Cynthia Boswell, a lunch club coordinator from Age UK, who explains why it is important for older people to remain independent.
Some people just don't like the idea of living with other people and like to keep their own space and like to do their own thing as far as they can. It's important for them mentally as well to have to still think about things, thinking what they want for their shopping and all that sort of thing. So it's very important that they have their independence.
A new £9 million school, Barton Farm Academy, is to be built on the site of Barton Farm Development, which will include 2,000 new homes. Our education correspondent Letty Buxton spoke to Councillor Peter Edgar to find out more.
We are having to find 11,000 new Year R places by 2017, so under tremendous pressure for school places, and where there's a new estate, quite often we just have to build a new school.
The school is part of a £248 million investment, and the University of Winchester Academy Trust will be the sponsor of the new academy and is providing additional funds. Alison Lawrence, the Senior Project Manager for the Academy Trust, spoke to us earlier.
I think it would be a great presence for the university and the community, a real chance for us to link with this new and exciting community and be a part of it and an opportunity to build it. I know there was some controversy originally about the development overall, but the experience we've had when we were consulting about the planning application for the school was very, very positive.
And in other news, we've all heard recently about the TalkTalk leak revealed to the public last Friday. And in the studio with me now is our reporter Mark Betts.
Hello.
So what can you tell us about the hack?
Well, TalkTalk have reported that sort codes and bank numbers have been accessed, but major financial information has been protected. This means that hackers are not actually able to take any money out of people's accounts.
Okay.
But they are being urged that they need to check for any information that may have been leaked, and they need to change their passwords to make sure that their card details do remain protected.
Okay, so what can anyone do to protect themselves these days?
It's mostly common sense, but do not open or reply to any suspicious emails, because if it is too good to be true, it most probably is.
Okay.
Don't give your details to anyone online or over the phone. No matter how official they sound, only ever give them if you are ringing them. And don't forget to use multiple passwords for different accounts on your computer.
Thank you, Mark. And now to sport. Basingstoke Town have been drawn away to Cambridge United in the first round of the FA Cup after a shock 3-0 victory over Torquay United last Saturday. Our sports correspondent Dominic Chandler spoke to Basingstoke boss John Bristow, who had this to say after the game.
Very disciplined today. I think of late we've conceded some poor goals. Not quite been as clinical as we'd have liked, and today very structured, very disciplined, and everyone knew their jobs very well. We worked hard on the week and scored some good goals, against a good side. So it's a fantastic result and a really good performance.
And for more sport, you can check out winol.co.uk. And joining me now in the studio is our features editor, Ryan McAndrew. So what's been going on this week?
Well, this week our food editor, Sophie Hannam, has made a non-bake fridge cake. So it's bunging all the ingredients into one bowl with a bit of melted chocolate, into a tray and then into the fridge. Leave it for a few hours and then you've got a perfect cake for any occasion. Now, the social calendar is rife with parties at the moment. We've got Halloween at the weekend and we've got bonfire night, and then obviously on the horizon we've got Christmas, so it's a sort of perfect thing for a little nibble at a party. She has also written a comment piece about the sugar tax. Now, it's linked to Halloween at the weekend. Obviously a lot of sugar is going to be being consumed by all those trick-or-treaters, so she's written her opinions on that.
Okay, and what do we have coming from our successful fashion writers?
Well, Holly travelled up to London at the weekend. She met up with a makeup artist and she's gone for a more chic look for Halloween, so it's not necessarily the white face and big black-eyed scary look you're
not garish.
Exactly, not that you're used to. So it's sort of like a chic look, I'd say it's very similar to makeup trends at the moment, but just a bit bolder and still got a nod to the Halloween theme.
Yeah. Okay, and I've also heard in cinema recently that we have the new James Bond film Spectre, which was released on Monday. What can you tell us about this?
So our film writer, Ewan Lyle, went out to see the film and he's done a little review for us here on the radio, so let's listen to that.
Sam Mendes' second go at the franchise follows on from Skyfall, with Bond trying to uncover a terrorist organisation by the name of Spectre, led by Christoph Waltz's mysterious Franz Oberhauser.
Welcome, James. You came across me so many times, yet you never saw me. What took you so long?
Craig is his typical stoic, smirking self and further strengthens his case as the best Bond. But Waltz's villainous turn feels slightly wasted due to the paper-thin characterisation and perhaps being too campy for the modern-day Bond's grittier universe. The whole setup of the evil organisation doesn't have the desired big reveal, after copyright restrictions prevented mentions of Spectre in previous films. There's no shortage of set pieces throughout Spectre's bloated 150-minute running time. Helicopter tussles, alpine car chases, train brawls, a wingless plane barrelling down a hill and numerous other explosions all feature. The highlight, however, is the 5-minute uninterrupted opening shot following Bond from a parade in the streets of Mexico City all the way to the rooftops as he sets up for a kill. Overall, it's an undeniably exciting continuation of the Bond series, but suffers due to poor execution of ambitious aims and a waste of incredible talent, especially with Christoph Waltz as the villain. Sam Smith's polarising Bond theme, Writings on the Wall, doesn't really work in the film's intro, which is slightly bizarre in itself, for obvious reasons if you give the film a watch this month.
I don't know, I quite like the new Sam Smith song.
Yeah, I really like it as a song, and I think it's very James Bond. I mean, it's not necessarily something that I'd expect from Sam Smith, but I think it works well in the theme of the film. Whether it works, like Ewan says, in the intro of the film is another thing, and we'll have to obviously go to the cinema and see it to give our own opinion, maybe next week.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. That's all from Radio this week. You can catch up again next week for more radio news, sport and features with Lauren Clark.